Given the Johnston development agreement for Cross Creek Ranch, do you have any views on how to secure financing for future city municipal projects?
Yeah, I think it dovetails into what I was saying earlier. I think we make Fulshear a great place to be. Fulshear a great place to live, a place people want to live. And I think going getting that financing will be easy. And I know I've heard a whole lot of stories about the deal that got done with Johnston, and you know, I wasn't here. I don't know what to believe. It was shady, wasn't it? I don't know, but I think we should bring in to seek financing, and I think if we make Fulshear a great place to live, a great place to visit, then people will want to come, and we'll get those rooftops, and we'll get those businesses, and we'll be able to secure financing to build it. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Murdoch.
To be honest with you, it's going to be tough to maneuver through the environment, but in my opinion, I feel that we need to look and research for tools in the shed that Texas has provided for municipalities to develop their economy. From what I understand, I think that Highland Homes reached an agreement with a 380 agreement, and back in 2015, I know that's being used. There's that downtown agreement trying to bring in retail development into the downtown area. There's possibilities on trying to get sales tax revenue. I think that we ought to piggyback off of, unfortunately Katie got it, but piggyback off of Buc-ee's and let's develop throughout I-10. Let's put in some quality retail establishments that people will come out to Fulshear to get to. That way we can earn more revenue through sales tax.
Perfect. Okay, Mr. Ariel.
I think bringing more economic development, just like we talked earlier, is the biggest source for our city to secure more finances. And I see that our city is pretty good in financial terms. It has always had surplus of money going to the year forward, and we have not really been delinquent on any of our payables. So we are doing very good, and if we can plan ahead for our development and municipal developments, then I think there are plenty of sources for us to get the money, including tax revenues, bringing more business, and maybe building if we can construct a road going from Fulshear to I-10, you know, that's going to be a lot of traffic coming this way, and if we have some gas stations, I mean, there is a lot of economic development that we can do, which is going to bring a lot of people in here so that we can get the tax revenues and develop our municipal projects.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Gill.
Subject I like to talk about is CPA money. I'd be grateful if you'd repeat the question.
Yes, the question is this. Do you have any views on how to secure financing for future city municipal projects?
Okay, so this is an honest question. It deserves an honest answer. So let's get the issue out on the table. There was a reference to the subdivision agreements. There were some agreements that were entered into back in 2007, 2008. And what those agreements said was that any tax revenues above 10 cents in every of revenue to the city would go to certain developments. What that does is it limits the city's ability to raise finance through bond issuance. And the normal way that cities raise capital is to issue bonds. So Fulshear is severely restricted in terms of its ability to raise capital in that way. So we're going to have to be a bit more inventive in terms of the way that we raise finance. And that's a passion of mine. So we're going to have to figure out some inventive ways and initiatives to raise capital for our future growth. Some of those, there are vehicles within the legislation that we can use. An example might be special purpose districts where, you know, a commercial area decides to tax itself to create the infrastructure within that district. We all want fine infrastructure here in the city of Fulshear. It's a beautiful city. We want to see quality developments. That's a vehicle to achieve that end. Thank you.
Okay, Okay, great. Councilwoman Krennic, what would you do?
The agreements referenced were incentives to get Fulshear on the map of where it is today. And in order to fund infrastructure, we've actually started capitalizing on our relationships that we're building with the county. One example is the Fulshear, or the Texas Heritage Parkway, which I affectionately like to refer to as the Fulshear Parkway. We are about to, as the City Council, we're about to vote on a project that allows us to work with them to raise the capital and pay them back. We currently don't have debt in the City of Fulshear, so we don't have, and we don't have the ability to issue bonds presently. But there are a lot of relationships that we're developing around us that allow us to fund our infrastructures. Like Mr. Gill referenced, special purpose districts, if that becomes necessary for a certain infrastructure project or need, then we can enter into those kind of agreements to fund that development, to make sure that the city is consistently moving forward. Likewise, we have great relationships with our developers in this community, and they've done a lot to incentivize not only infrastructure, but say, hey, we can do this in a lease, a partial, like almost an installment contract to purchase things, so that we're not having to extend ourselves or miss out on opportunities because we can't get bonds. And so those relationships that have been established under the vision of our current council and current mayor, I think will serve us greatly going forward.
Excellent, thank you so much.